Hey guys, welcome to Fly By Night Reviews. I'm your host, Kiren.
Dom.
Today we're going to do a movie review of Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Dom, what did you think of this?
I thought it was pretty fun. It started out a little bit slower than I expected, but then it was pretty funny. Good action.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you with the slow start. You know, the I'm not a huge D&D fan.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff I'm not familiar with, like the lore and all
Yeah.
and so
Yeah, my extent on lore or D&D stuff is vaguely remembering the 80s cartoon and whatever they had on Stranger Things.
yeah, I mean, my growing up, my brother and his friends used to do D&D, and I would kind of just watch them play, and so I know the game and I know how it's played.
Right.
I was more infatuated with like the artwork that kind of went with D&D, so some of that stuff I like recognize for sure, like
Oh, yeah.
some of the characters that were in there, and but yeah, I thought it was good. Definitely fun, and you don't really have to be like a Dungeons and Dragons like fan necessarily to
Right.
to enjoy it. I think it would help to kind of be in, like, I think like Dungeons and Dragons fans will really like this movie because there's a lot of like Easter eggs and
Oh, yeah.
you know
I saw somebody mention this before, but it kind of did feel like uh, it was actually a game being played while you're watching it.
yeah. At first, actually, I was thinking,
It threw me off at first, and then I realized it, like, oh, okay, and then it made it a little more enjoyable.
yeah, I thought they were going to kind of go that route, kind of like what was that, like the what was that movie that came out in the '80s with like um, Princess Bride, where it has like
Okay,
a story. He's like reading a book.
right.
I thought maybe they would kind of do something like, oh, they're all players, and
Hmm.
but I guess that's kind of a cliche that they've done before and other things. But yeah, other than that, I thought it was good.
The graphics were really good too.
Yeah, special effects were top notch. I thought, like the more I think about it, I was like, some of that I was like, damn, like that looks really good and really surprising.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
but we're gonna start discussing spoilers after this point. So if you haven't seen the movie, go out and see it and come back. Let us know what you think. Um, yeah. So the beginning was pretty.
I mean, I get it. It's set up, kind of give the like little atmosphere to the whole thing, and how grand everything is. But still, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like they start off kind of okay. They're on like a chain gang type of thing. I think it's
right.
Chris Pine's character Edgin, I think.
Yeah, Edgin and
Holga
Holga.
are kind of cellmates,
Right.
and they have to kind of and basically they're like in front of a panel of judges or
Kind of more like a review board for like probation or something.
yeah. So they're
Yeah.
basically pleading their case why they should be released. And there's one of the characters is missing, and they keep mentioning, oh, where's Jonathan or something. That's just the character's name, and they keep saying, oh, he's late, and they're all like kind of stressing. And then he kind of it shows flashbacks of what how they got caught. So basically, um, he was a thief, and
Well,
he's
he started out as like a guard, like a kind of like honor guard that through a series of events becomes a thief with Holga,
okay,
and then
okay.
they get caught.
Yeah, and I think he tries to do the right thing, and as a good guy, and then he doesn't get rewarded, so he feels cheated. So he
Yeah,
takes some gold, and that gold happens to be red wizard gold, which they can track. So he brings that home, and he has a wife and a kid. And apparently, when he's gone, the red wizards
kill the wife.
kill the wife and stab her with a like red wizard like dagger, which basically can't bring her back to life. So
Or yeah, it they can't be she can't be healed by any kind of
okay,
yeah.
all right, yeah. I mean, well, anyway, so she dies. So he kind of he finds out there's a relic that could possibly bring her back to life. So that's kind of the driving plot of the movie is like him trying to get his daughter back with this relic, and then bring his wife back too. But the escape. So basically this Jonathan,
right?
He shows up and he's like a bird. He's like
a bird person. Yeah,
he's like a winged bird, and there's a window behind them, and then they. Right. And then they like basically like bum rush him, and then he breaks through the window, and then they use him as like basically like
an escape.
Yeah, like a kite or something. So he's flying, and they escape, and then of course they find out like we're gonna pardon you anyway, or we're gonna let you.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so they go and they go to search for his daughter or go find his daughter again, and his daughter is
with the guy that they left him with, which was Hugh Grant's character, Forge.
Yeah, and he's kind of shady, and I guess I can't remember if the backstory, or was it in the backstory that they were. Oh wait, no, this is after. This was another this movie. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on in this movie that it's hard to keep track of. But I think they go to the Hugh Grant characters. Where he's like in a castle.
Right, he's kind of in charge of a city.
Yeah, and they basically, I think Sophina, she's
going around acting like his top advisor.
Yeah, but
she's really in charge.
In reality, yeah, she's like a red wizard. So they basically send him to steal something, and then they basically like set him up.
Yeah, he set up. Yeah.
Yeah. They set up the Chris Pine character up, and basically Chris Pine's like, oh, take care of my daughter, make sure she's taken care of, and that's kind of like what happens is Hugh Grant kind of takes his daughter under his wing, but then also turns his daughter against him,
right?
And it causes kind of a rift between him and his daughter, and so then I guess he's basically trying to find all the other characters that are all other thieves that helped him in the past, like the barbarian Holga,
right?
The wizard or sorcerer, played by Justice Smith, Simon,
right?
And then
they meet Doric.
Oh yeah, the shapeshifter kind of druid person.
The druid, yeah.
So yeah, so it's kind of like, I guess it plays like Dungeons and Dragons, where it's like
you go different quests and side quests and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, so different characters kind of serve a different purpose, and there's one scene where they're looking for a particular, I think, a paladin. And they go to like a graveyard, and that
was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, that was a funny part. And they basically start resurrecting all these like dead bodies that like these fighters that fought this battle that supposedly this paladin was in or something.
So they could protect this helmet from evil.
Yeah, but yeah, they keep resurrecting these people and asking them questions, but like a lot of them are like they don't know, like they
died before they could figure it out.
But anyway, so I think they finally find where the paladin, and the paladin knows where the helmet is located, and that's when we go to this cave and we see the dragon, and that was cool. Like the dragon was almost like what was the dragon in Lord of the Rings?
Oh, the Fat Smog.
Yeah, like
Smog.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that. He was like living in kind of a cave, but very, very cool design, and they find the helmet.
You don't see husky dragons very often.
Yeah, it's very unique. And yeah, so and then the Simon, he gets the helmet and he puts the helmet on. I guess his helmet. I don't know what the helmet does. Maybe it kind of
if I remember correctly, it disenchants, or it just basically nullifies magic within a certain radius.
Okay. So he puts his helmet on, and it's, he kind of gets transported to this like weird realm, and then he like somehow it like rejects him, like he's not able to like use the power of
into it.
So it has something to do with him not being like self-confident enough or something. So once he he kind of has more confidence, he's able to use it, and that's able to help him later on in the movie.
Yeah.
To like, but yeah, there's also so basically after they get the helmet, they go to the castle, and this is kind of when it's revealed that Hugh Grant is a bad guy, and they're like all shocked, and then the Sophina, the red wizard in disguise of a good guy, she pretty much reveals herself too. So they have to, I guess, like.
Oh yeah, they go. Let's see. They're trying to first off steal all the treasure that he's got amassed in this vault, and then get Chris Pine's daughter and the Resurrection Stone, and just try to make him look like a fool.
Yeah. See, this was when I was watching the movie, I was going like, oh man, because I was thinking about this review today, and I'm like, there's a lot of stuff going on in this movie that I don't know if I'm going to be able to like remember fully, because it's
That's
kind
why
of,
there's two of us.
Yeah, exactly. It just kind of goes with the plot,
Right.
but
And didn't even mention. We forgot to mention the little cameo.
oh yeah,
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper's in this, and he's like a kind of a small person. I guess he was like Holga's love interest in the past, but it was pretty like. It didn't look like him. It was weird seeing him not like. He was like skinny and had like long hair or whatever, but. It was,
that's what I thought it was funny, like a little cameo.
Yeah. So, and then there's also, so after, I think they get, did they get arrested, or they get like imprisoned or something, and then they're basically Hugh Grant's character, or they want to like basically fight in an arena or something to prove.
Right, rather than being executed right then and there, Chris Pine talks them into having them go into the arena instead.
Yeah, so this is where like there's like this labyrinth section, and that's kind of where all these like classic D&D like kind of characters and like villains, or not villains, or like enemies or creatures kind of like, you know, we start recognizing, oh yeah, like the, you know, treasure chest with the mouth,
the mimic, and then you can see basically the cast of the 80s cartoon.
Yeah, and the gelatinous blob or
right.
You know, thing, and you know, things like that. So it was definitely like, you know, for the fans for sure. And then the big kind of battle at the end against Sophina. And I thought that was really cool, the whole you know, Sophina trying to turn everybody into like sort of like, you know,
like
zombies.
Army of the Undead. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of like Dungeons and Dragons version of like the Sky Beam, I guess. You know, so I was kind of like, this is kind of comic book-ish, you know, with how it worked out. But I thought
they did it different enough where it was their own thing, kind of.
Yeah. But the battle was really cool. And you know, they, I think, what was it? One of the characters got. I think all the characters got these wristbands.
The two magic users got the wristbands so they couldn't use their magic.
Yeah, so they couldn't use their magic, and they put that on Sophina, so she basically starts to kind of like decay during their battle, and that's how they're able to defeat her.
Right.
And then Holga, they find out was stabbed by the red wizard blade,
right?
And so she's pretty much gonna die,
and then does die.
Yeah, and does die. And Holga and Chris Pine's character's daughter, I think their name is Carrie or
Chris Pine's daughter. Helga was kind of like a surrogate mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so basically, instead of Chris Pine using the relic to bring back his wife, that his daughter really doesn't know because she was only a small baby when his wife died, he brings back Holga instead because
she was more of a mother to her.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, and that was kind of like the heartfelt moment, I guess. So the pulling at the heartstrings. But yeah, it was good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of doze off, but I don't think it was because of the movie. It was I had a beer like earlier before the movie, and I'm getting old, so maybe I was just like feeling a little sleepy, whatever. But
and it was pretty late at night.
Yeah, it was a late showing. It was a 2 hour and 14-minute movie, and we started watching it at like 9:30. So it was late. But I'll definitely watch it again. I think I'll wait till it's out on like streaming or something. But I think you guys will probably like it, especially like Dungeons and Dragons fans.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They definitely will like this one. So, but
it's just a good fun movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely check it out again in the future. But
what would you give it?
I'll give it a 7, solid 7.
I'll go with an 8.5.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's decent. I mean, I think you know more a little bit more than I do about Dungeons and Dragons. So
it's not much,
but yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe below. Leave a comment. Let us know if you saw this movie. What did you think? Are you a Dungeons and Dragons fan? Was this a good representation to the lore and all that stuff? Just let us know. But anyway, we will catch you next time.
Later.